moment I walked into that consultation room, I broke down. Before anything, I told her I've been looking for a diagnosis for the past 2 years. The only thing I want you to tell me is tell me it's okay and I'm going to be okay. I have made peace with one thing: my condition is serious.
A very good morning, my people from the Tracy TV. My name is Daisy. Welcome to the Today Show of Unveil. Today we are introducing to you Gloria, who is gradually going blind. Let's unveil, let's hear a story. Hi Gloria.
Hi.
Welcome to the Tracy TV.
Thank you for having me.
Unveil your story. So, would you kindly introduce yourself?
My name is Gloria Undieki. I am a full-time freelancer. I do freelancing on website development and design, project management. I am good with video and photo editing. I also create content, but it's been forever since I did that. But that's something I enjoy. Apart from all that, I have a genetic retina dystrophy called Bilateral Myopic Foveoschisis, which is essentially the reason why we're here today. Yeah. So that's the bottom line of me as a person. So I started having eyesight issues the moment I started schooling. That's when teachers in preschool discovered that I couldn't read the board unless I'm so close to it. I used to squint my eyes so much and I could strain seeing whatever is written on the board. And they raised that issue to my parents, and now the journey of trying to find out what the problem was started at that point when I was around 4 years old. And every time I went to the hospital, I was being told the only solution to my problem is specs. My father was not taking that lying down. He fought it. He was like, she's too young to put on specs. She needs, like, I think something can be done. There's something else that you can do. Doctors kept telling me my condition was serious, but like nobody ever told me, this is it. This is your condition and this is why you have it. So over the years I grew up knowing the only chance I have at seeing is specs. So I started putting on specs at around 8-9 years old. Yeah, and it's.
How did that affect your childhood?
It was easy on my end, but now the other kids made it so hard, because now you cannot play with the other kids. Nobody wants to run you over and have your specs break. Nobody wants to play with you because they have the fear of like, what if? So as a kid I was not able to take part in so many activities. I couldn't play football with the rest, I couldn't play volleyball with the rest, because every time even the teachers were like, you need to take care of your specs. So I grew up knowing the only thing I needed to take care of as a kid was take care not to fall down because your specs will break, take care not to play with the others because the specs will break. That was hard. It kind of made me miss out on a lot until I was in uni. That's when I could like now decide on myself on the things I can do and the things I cannot do. Nobody was there to decide for me. I think that is when I started living, because now I was able to do things that I wasn't allowed to do.
So you've been gradually becoming blind, or it is constant?
It's gradual blindness. Like every time I go for a new lens, my lens power has already changed. Every time and that means like my condition gets blurry. Like I get blurred vision. So for starters, I have total night blindness. That's something I grew up with as a kid. Total night blindness. I cannot see at night at all. Yeah. But then the blindness, like of light during the day, has been gradual. Like my eyes have been gradually going blurry. So it has gotten to a point where my right eye is not seeing, but my left eye is seeing.
So you can see with your left, but the right is not seen clearly. So how has this affected your work? You've mentioned that you are doing several things, content creation.
I had to find a balance of, now I had to balance my what ifs. I did hospitality, a Bachelor of Science in Hospitality and Tourism Management from Pwani University. And then after that, I started asking myself, first, how sustainable will this degree be for me? Because other than eyesight, I have other conditions. So I was like, how will it be affecting me health-wise? So I was like, but then if I get into tech, it won't like take a lot of my energy in so many aspects. I can always make the rules, I can do what I love in the process. And I got into tech to complement my hospitality. When I got into tech, I started developing a very deep interest in photography and videography. It's something I used to do growing up, like from way in uni, but it's something I used to do for fun. And then I realized I enjoy seeing things through the lens. So I was like, I can actually go to class and also get certified on this. Yeah, so essentially it's like the what ifs build curiosity in me. Like, what if I go blind today? Will I have done the things I would have loved to do? So every time I ask myself such a question, I go ahead and get it done. Yeah.
That's what give you energy on a daily basis.
That's
Motivates you.
Yes. Like what if you go blind today? You could have wanted to have documented memories. You could have wanted to have like shown people your life through the lens. You could have wanted to have like created a website that was a solution to a problem that people had. Yeah.
So do kindly give us your medical history.
So, oh my god. So I started putting on specs when at around 8-9, and by this time I don't have a diagnosis. The doctors were like, hey, the only way out is specs, and I had to take it whether lying down or standing up. But then it went on getting worse. Every time I change my lens, it's worse than the previous one. But then when it got to around 2020, it got worse. It got worse to a point that my optician raised an alarm. He was like, no, Gloria, now we need to find an alternative to this other than what we have been doing. We have been changing lenses, we've been giving you new specs, but I don't think that is working. Now we need to find another way to see whether we can have a solution, because now your condition is getting worse. At your age, you shouldn't be putting the lens power you're putting on. I was like, you've been treating me all these years, like you've been my optician all these years. By that time, he had been my optician for like slightly over 5 years. I was like, okay, I'll go and think about it. So the day I go to pick my specs, he's like, I hope you've thought about that, and there's someone I want you to see. He went straight up, there's an ophthalmologist I want you to see. I was like, I'll think about it. Eventually I made peace with it. I went and saw this ophthalmologist, and whatever he was telling me was not sitting well with me. Like, you cannot tell me the only solution I have to this is tech. It's tech and regular checkups. So I was like, it doesn't even add up. So I told Collins, my optician, we'll resume this some other time, but meanwhile, I'm good. The very same year in June, I had a new lens. And the same year, I'm going for a new lens again around September, October, and now I was shocked. I was like, anyway, this thing is serious. So in January 2021, in February 2021, again I go in for a new lens. And Collins is like, this thing is not getting any better, it's getting worse. And the earlier we solve it, the better. I was like, yeah, I agree. And now at that point, I think like I was slowly making peace with reality. I was like, okay, we can go ahead and look for a few doctors and hear their opinions. But deep down somewhere, I knew there was a solution. I didn't know, like, I knew my condition was serious, but I didn't think it was so super serious. It's just like, you know, something is serious, but then it has not hit home that it's actually serious. Yeah.
Okay, so you are changing lenses. Were you taking some drugs also?
No.
It is only lens.
Actually, retina conditions don't have even eye drops, because they're like, the retina is the connective part to the brain. So like most of the conditions, Lactana is the only retina drop that has been confirmed. Most of the conditions use drops because maybe it's an allergic reaction, maybe you just have an issue with the pupils and stuff like that. But now the retina is so far away, so far away. Yeah, it's not easy for you to have like you having eye drops or drugs that you take for retina issues. Yeah.
So from the email that you had shared with us earlier, you are doing some fundraising to go and rectify this issue. Would you kindly take us through how you came about this sort of now starting to fundraise or now to see how your condition can be rectified? Yeah.
So in 2021, we officially started looking for a diagnosis. Remember, all these years, I did not have a diagnosis. Doctors were just telling me my condition is serious. In 2022, around August, we find a doctor. Like all this time, I was seeing these doctors, and then, you know, you can feel the vibe of a doctor, and you're like, we're not headed anywhere. Like I'm just wasting my money here. So in August, I tell Collins, now we need to be serious about this. If this is as serious as you say you see it, then I think it's high time we become serious also about it and we get a solution to it. So in August, we start finding a doctor. Now we're actively looking for retina specialists. We don't want to just look for an ophthalmologist, because by this time every ophthalmologist is pointing it to the retina. So we're like, let's look for a specialist. Eventually we get 2 hospitals. We get Lions and City, but then it was so hard to get an appointment at Lions. So we get an appointment at City, and I get this ophthalmologist by the name Alexandria Mashep. Mashep that was the first time I ever saw her. I had never known her. So I walk into the hospital like any other patient, and she's like, I need you to do an OCT scan. That was the first test I did in that hospital. She looked at me, she was like, hey, I want you to go and do a scan and then bring it back to me. I'm like, okay. I bring back the scan, and she goes, do you have anyone you can call? At that moment, I was like, no way, we're not getting to a point that I have to call someone. You know, the moment a doctor says you have to call someone, you know it's serious.
It's serious.
Yeah. So
it's a serious discussion.
I go ahead and call my friend. She pulls up, and the doctor now starts explaining to us what she's seeing. And
what came into your mind immediately when you were told to call someone to come?
I broke down. And then the next thing was like, oh God, this was not what I came here looking for. The moment I walked into that consultation room, I broke down. Before anything, I told her I've been looking for a diagnosis for the past 2 years. The only thing I want you to tell me is tell me it's okay, and I'm going to be okay. And I have a solution. And there's a solution. There's something that you can do here for me. Because CTI is a big hospital. It's a facility that can handle so many things. So I knew for certain I was in safe hands. But then now when a doctor says, call someone, now at that point, you know, things are getting out of hand. Yeah, that was hard. I broke down, and then I was like, no way. No, we're not headed that way. Yeah.
So you've called your friend is here. Then what happened? What did the doctor say?
The doctor explains to her the diagnosis, and she goes like, "You having a retina dystrophy, but we cannot determine what it is at this point. But one thing we sure is it's a dystrophy, and it's occurring bilaterally. Bilaterally means across. So she's like, we cannot determine what this dystrophy is unless we do so many tests. So because it's a retina condition, and some of the retina conditions are triggered by tuberculosis. Tuberculosis triggers people to have fluid accumulation in the retina. Because I had fluid accumulation in the retina that couldn't be explained, so the first test I had to go through was a TB test, and it was negative. Then now after that, we started carrying out a series of tests to determine whether I was on autoimmune, my body was on autoimmune. By that time I had lost a lot of weight, like 16, 17 kgs.
What was the feeling going through several tests? What was running in your mind?
God knows how many times I cried on 5th Ngong Avenue. Like moving from one clinic to another, from 5th Ngong Avenue to Nairobi Hospital to Upper Hill, like going through that circle. Every time, the other day we went to see Dr. Oscar, and the moment that Uber drove through that Valley Road to Nairobi Hospital, I broke down, because that's a place that holds so many painful memories. Like, I call them painful because it's not something I was looking forward to. I went there with the anticipation of getting a diagnosis, and like after going through all those tests and walking through all those streets, eventually you're given a diagnosis and you're told there's nothing we can do. I think at that point I was broken. Yeah.
So you have been given results by your doctor. What happened next?
So before they officially like give me the results, I'm told I get in with all the tests that I've been doing, and the doctor tells me now I need to start seeing specialists of every part of the eye. Now at this point now I know it's serious. So I see a cornea specialist, I see a retina specialist, I go through low vision assessment because for starters I have total night blindness, and now my vision is blurry during the day, so I go through low vision assessment. And then they still tell me they need to send my test to different doctors to get their opinions. Eventually when they call me in on 12th September, they tell me now, Gloria, it's official. We have had a bench of specialists sit down and evaluate your case. You have a retina dystrophy that is genetic, and it's called Bilateral Myopic Foveoschisis. So what that means, aschisis means a tear. So my retina membranes are tearing, and when they tear, it's a case of they tear and then they dismantle, and now they're like small bubbles. They leave holes in the retina membrane. But then the weirdest part is the mutations are causing another layer to grow on the membrane.
Do you feel pain?
I don't feel anything. I think that's why when I tell people I'm sick, they don't believe. I don't have headaches, my eyes don't hurt. I think it's like any other genetic mutation, because people say genetic mutations, people don't feel pain when they happen. They just happen. Yeah. So I don't feel any pain. I don't have anything that I can associate to that condition. It just happens.
Okay, take us through looking for doctors outside the country.
So on 12th, they give me a diagnosis. They tell me a bunch of doctors are sat down. They've sent these results to different retina specialists. the country has only 12, and 3 of them have seen and evaluated my case. So by that time I was like, anyway, hapa ni kubaya. So they called Dr. Oscar. Dr. Oscar is a retina specialist who was running a clinical trial by then on different genetic retina dystrophies. So by that time they call him and he tells them my trial is closed, but I can advise you can refer that patient to the UK or to the US. She'll get help. So the trial is closed. It means now we have to start actively looking for how can we get help. So they closed my file on 12th September, and now we start the journey of writing emails, of trying to find a trial, of trying to find a doctor, trying to find a hospital that can even be willing to evaluate my case. So I get a diagnosis on 12th of September 2022, and now I start the real process of actually looking for where am I getting this evaluation done. And I get a suggestion of 3 hospitals, one in the UK, 2 in the US. And the one in the UK was like closing down their trial. Now I have 2 options left, and I go for these 2 options. I send them my diagnosis, I send them all the tests I'd done, and one accepts to evaluate me. So they open a file for me, and then they send me an email with the letters and all the requirements that I'm supposed to forward to the hospital. So they tell me I need to give them $10,000 US for them to give me an appointment. So now this is in October. It's in October. Remember, the file was closed on 12th September. It's like around 16th October that I get now an hospital. That's like a month. And then I take another like 3 weeks to process this information. Now, like, how am I getting $10,000 US? That's like 1.3 million Kenyan shillings. You're not telling me that. And remember, this is not money for treatment. This is an evaluation for them to determine whether I'm fit for treatment. And the option I have here is gene therapy. And now we're not even talking about the 80 million Kenyan shillings that I'm supposed to raise for gene therapy. But I decide I'm not focusing on anything else. Let me just focus on how am I getting the 10,000. So I start talking to my friends, and some of them think I'm lying. Like, they think I'm bluffing. They're like, there's no way you're sick.
Because nowadays people see that wearing glasses is normal.
Exactly. People have really normalized it. And it's not. Actually, I tell people, stop just walking into an optician and getting specs. Go and get treated. Because some things can be rectified without you putting on specs. Yeah, it's no fancy. It's not. So I get this. Now I start talking to my friends, and some of them are dismissing it, but some of them are really positive, and now we come up with a task force. And they're like, now how are we going to raise 1.3 million in this economy? So in December, in I think mid-November, we start the fundraising, and then now it becomes like a roller coaster of everything I was never prepared for, of backlash from people who have known me putting on specs for the rest of my life, who are saying no, they don't believe that I'm sick, to friends who are holding my hands and telling me, hey, we're going to walk with you through this journey, to like all the ups and downs, all the emotions. And now I'm like, no matter whatever it takes, like as long as I know there's help out there, the only thing that can kill me is me not being able to get this help. I'll never forgive myself for doing that. But like as long as there's help out there and I know there's a way to get it, however hectic it's going to get. Nobody ever said it's always easy. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's see how far we can get with it. So we've been fundraising for, now this is the third month. So the festivities came in and everybody was so focused on the festive season, and we were like, okay. January came in after that and we were like, okay. And now it's been hard, I can say that. It has been hard.
Before you give us the Paybill number, the funding platforms, how are you?
I'm at a point where I think I have made peace with one thing: my condition is serious. But I have not made peace with going blind. I am actively going blind, I know that for a fact, but I have not made peace with it. Like, it's a constant battle. I have some days when I'm so strong and I'm like, I got this, you know. The people out there who are rooting for you, you have solid friends who are like working day and night to get this done for you. And I'm like, okay, you'll get the help you need, you'll get there. But then again, I have those days that it hits me like a bomb. Like, it's like, Gloria, do you know you're going blind? I have those days I don't want to get out of bed, and I have those days that I get out of bed with all the energy and get things done, and I'm happy. But I can say, like, as they say, healing is a journey. It's like I lost something. I lost something for so long. I did not know that I was dealing with loss for a long time. It's like when someone dies, you think you've gotten over it, and then like the hard days, the hard times, and then there are times like you're like, people die. Yeah, it's kind of like that circle. It's like I lost my eyes, and now I'm constantly dealing with that fact.
Do you feel like there's something you wanted to do, but because of your eyesight you are unable to do?
Yeah, but now one thing I have challenged myself to do is everything that I thought I couldn't do because of my eyes, I want to do it. Like, I'm actively like striving to do everything that I couldn't do because of my health. I have always loved fitness. I've always loved being out there, running, going to the gym, and I challenged myself. This year I want to prepare for a triathlon. Not because I can do it, because of my eyes. Now I'll have to look for a way I am going to compete in that triathlon, even if it's for fun. But then, like, everything, I think after my diagnosis, my perspective on so many things changed. I stopped telling myself the things I cannot do. I started asking myself, is there a way I can do these things? And I'm like, every time if you have the will to do something, you'll always find a way. And I'm like, my diagnosis showed me like my life is so short. Not like in the lifespan that I live, like my eyesight, I don't know how many days I'll have it for. So I have to put my best foot forward and be out there and live life. The world doesn't care about whatever you're going through. Nobody really cares. People will sympathize with you, but nobody is fitting in that shoe. You're the only person who feels it.
Are you able to do things on your own, or you depend on someone else? Before my eyesight started getting worse, I was like 100% self-sufficient. I could lose my specs in the house and look for them the whole time, but I could eventually find them. Right now I can't find them. If I lose them, I lose them. So I am heavily relying on my family to be there, for my friends to be there, which is also something that is so hard for someone who was used to having a life of their own. You start feeling like you're a burden to people. Right now, if I go to town, everybody's worried. Everybody's calling me. My sister's so worried. Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Like,
it's like after the diagnosis, my life flipped. Everybody is concerned about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Like, are you comfortable? Are you okay? The constant check, like everybody wants to check on you. Yeah, it feels good, but it also feels like you are a burden to people. Exactly.
Because everyone has to monitor your step and every time.
Yeah. I have to say where I am, what I'm doing, because people need to feel that I'm safe. Yeah.
What do friends say about you? Have you ever been in a situation where your friends feel like you're a burden or they talk bad about it?
No, I have had good friends. The only time I have like 2 instances that really hurt me is when I was a kid. I was bullied by this girl in class. She really bullied me for my eyesight. She made fun of it. And then when I was in uni, the same thing happened when a friend of mine, by then he was my friend, he made a sick joke of like, I wish your eyes could fail in the exam room so that you can be there next year, you can retake. It was 4th year, 2nd semester, the final exam. It was the final week of exams, and somebody says that. That really hurt me. But overall, like, I've had people who have understood, who have like been so compassionate. When we go out with my friends, or like when we've gone out and done activities, I'm always like, hey, the moment it gets dark, I will not be able to see. So when it gets dark, everybody will be concerned, is Gloria okay? Which is also a good thing when you feel like people actually care to listen to you and know what you're going through.
What's your relationship life? Are you dating?
Yeah, I'm seeing someone. And if there's one thing I'll say is, sometimes you need a solid base that is not just family, that is somebody that you have feelings for. And if there's anything this person has done, is just be there and literally hold my hand, and like somebody just becomes your pillar of strength, literally. When I got the diagnosis, I was like, I think my life is done now. I don't need to pursue it anymore. And they were like, there's no way you're giving up on yourself, and there's no way I'm giving up on you. No, I'd had an encounter in the past when I told someone I have eyesight issues, I don't see at night, and they said, nani anataka de maoni.
Oh my God.
And so when
Kind of them.
It wasn't. And now when I got the diagnosis, and this person is here and they're telling me they're staying no matter what, I was always skeptical. I got to a point I was pushing them away. I was legit pushing them away. I was like, I don't want you to go through this with me. I just want to go through this on my own with my siblings, because they don't have a choice. You have a choice. But they were like, if anything, if there's a reason that I'm staying in this, it's because you're sick. I was like, okay, kumbe good people exist. The people will choose you even when you're not choosing yourself.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for visiting us today to share your story together with us. We truly appreciate. And so before we finish this session today, or this show, would you kindly face that camera? Give us the Paybill number, all the funding platforms that you have, so that our viewers today, those who are viewing us, can send something. Those who have donors can reach them out. Those who can share this video can share it.
Daisy, I appreciate so much for having me on your show. Thank you. And for anyone who wants to be a part of this journey, for anyone who has donors who can refer me to people who can help me, my Paybill number is 247. The account number is 0713998154. It's Gloria's Medical Kit. I have a GoFundMe account that goes by the title Help Bring Gloria to Massachusetts Hospital. You can go check it out and share the link with your friends. And also we are doing t-shirts. A sample is this one. We're doing t-shirts at 2,000 shillings per piece, and you can also donate via PayPal. The PayPal account is glough4848@gmail.com. I really appreciate any kind of help. It will go a long way. Keep sharing my story, and hopefully I inspired someone who's losing faith in themselves.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for sharing your story with us. I know it takes courage, it takes strength to come and share your story today. We truly appreciate you sharing your story. Guys, I want to urge everyone who is viewing this today, would you kindly be of help to Gloria? Kindly share this video, let it go viral, let us support her, let us ensure that she's getting her eyesight back. And at this juncture, I want to appreciate you for viewing us today. May the Lord bless you, may the Lord be with you. Kindly remember to subscribe, remember to share this video, remember to comment, remember to like. If you have any referral or any other doctor that you know can assist Gloria, kindly do so. May the Lord bless you so much. See you in the next session. Bye bye.
Guys, with only 2,000 bob, you get a chance to support Gloria with her medical needs, and you get a chance to get this awesome t-shirt. So link is in the description below, and you can order through the phone number down below, and you get yourself this awesome t-shirt and touch Gloria's heart. Peace.
So let's support Glow. This t-shirt is only 2,000 shillings. Maybe I got myself one. Please do. It's for one because friends. You're supporting a friend whose eyesight is at stake. Thanks.
Hello guys, let's support Gloria so that Gloria can see again. Let's make it happen. Funda, this t-shirt is just 2,000 shillings. Tununue kitu jamaa. Wacha Gloria apate kuona tena.
Hey guys, let's support Glow so that the light in our eyes does not die. Little is much when God is in it.